Hi, I'm David Marshall. So, I'm a historian of ideas. How do ideas emerge, evolve, and get transformed? I'm particularly fascinated by the rhetorical tradition. It seems to me that rhetoric asks a lot of the basic questions. How do we reason with others? How do emotions structure our lives together? What are the circumstances that make certain performances of character possible? To me, questions like these go to the heart of how we understand ourselves as political beings. And maybe that's my place in the Department of Communication here at Pitt, focused on the history and theory of rhetoric, connecting the older and the newer parts of the rhetorical tradition, situating media, public address, and the rhetoric of science in broader intellectual histories. I'm originally from New Zealand, although I've lived a good while in Britain, Italy, Germany, and the US. And the transplanting of ideas continues to obsess me. So yes, those Greeks and those Romans laid the foundations of rhetoric 2,000 years ago. But what happens to those ideas when they get transplanted into new ways of life? I wrote a book about an Italian thinker born in the 17th century called Giambattista Vico. He's unbelievably brilliant. Change your life brilliant. He was a professor of rhetoric at the University of Naples. He inherited rhetoric as a discipline from the ancients, but Naples didn't inherit the democratic and republican institutions that produced rhetoric in antiquity. What was Vico's response? Did he just say, well, getting up on your hind legs and persuading an audience is not really where it's at these days, so to hell with it? No. He said, okay, let's transform this rhetorical tradition so that it speaks to us here and now. Then he just gets all kinds of crazy creative. Or take Germany in the 1920s. Smashed in the First World War, looking for new answers. This was an unbelievably creative place intellectually. People haven't really seen this story, but I'm currently working on a book that shows how folks were cannibalizing and repurposing the rhetorical tradition. Folks like the philosopher Martin Heidegger, the political theorist Hannah Arendt, the art historian Aby Warburg, and the literary critic Walter Benjamin. Here's my wager. If we study folks like this, we learn how to transform the ideas we inherit. And yeah, I do think that it's absolutely essential to deal with all this stuff in the original language. If you want to get outside your own head and move beyond your own assumptions, learning the languages in which other people think is just crucial. So, if there's a common theme connecting my various interests at the moment, it's probably invention. I've been teaching a new undergraduate seminar recently. It's been very, very wonderful. It's called Rhetoric of Inquiry: Where Do Good Ideas Come From? We ask questions like this. Are good ideas like light bulbs going off in individual brains? Do they emerge from fluid, interactive, cross-pollinating environments? What kinds of logical inference generate new ideas? Or simply pick an idea that fascinates you, any idea, and tell us where, when, and how it emerged. In that class, we do deal with the first part of classical rhetoric, namely invention. As the ancients used to say, before you express your arguments, you've got to find them. And we do see how Vico transformed invention into what he called, very beautifully, poetic logic. But in the end, we're interested in creative environments today. What do they look like, and how do we cultivate them? Yeah, that's what I really love, thinking together with others. And that's what I try to let happen with undergrads, graduate students, and colleagues alike.